that's how it works. In some extreme or special cases, such trap can also be fixed to the ground for the nearest tree or with some stick. But then you have to be sure that you are the first one who comes to the trap side of nobody else, which is on the side of the road, yeah. So it's good to have an alarm system, then you will know immediately that something has happened and you go there. You can also put a camera if there is a network or whatever to get the information what happened at the trap site. So alarms and cameras are very useful. How the rest of the equipment looks like, what needs to be prepared, some bag where you keep the tools, pair of rubber gloves, heavy duty for handling chemicals actually, some hammer, special small broom and sifter, and the carpet used for setting traps. I'm not going to explain how to set traps, it takes too much. Traps have to be prepared before setting in the ground. They have to be free from smell. Of course, they have to be first checked that they for the proper functionality. Eventually they were damaged from previous capture. So, or even if they are new, they have to be assembled. We usually buy them just the trap. As you have seen in the previous picture, we don't buy the chain and the drag, and then we assemble them. If they were rusty, if they were properly prepared previous year, they will not be rusty. But if they were not prepared properly, then they will be, and then they have to be brushed. It's good to have students for that. That's a lot of time. Yeah. And then when the traps are boiled, which means boiling is the process of removing the human smell from the trap and covering it, coating it with the paraffin. Actually, the boiling is so important but often underestimated. You have to first remove the scent. I actually do double boiling. First boiling just to remove the scent, then I throw away this water of the last year with old paraffin, and then do the second boiling. Just put the vegetation from the forest where the traps will be set, make like forest tea, and then after some boiling, like half hour, when the tea is ready, remove the vegetation, the branches and twigs, leaves as well, and then I put traps inside, or actually one by one, and then I add pure white paraffin which doesn't smell at all, and there should be some layer of paraffin on top, and the traps have to be taken out very slowly so that the paraffin, and they have to be at a certain temperature when the paraffin is turning from liquid to hard, so that it coats the traps all around, everything, and it has the smell of the vegetation, and then the traps are treated like that, has to be cooled down outside of on some wooden boards, and then stored in boxes just for this, together with some vegetation from the forest. I put usually one layer of moss on the bottom, one layer of traps, one layer of twigs, one layer of traps, one layer of twigs, like KUSAK, and store them like that for a week or so. Then they additionally get the scent of the vegetation from the forest and shake it together in the box, and the box is always locked, so that I'm sure that no any curious hands were touching them in the midnight. Okay, so when this is done, you can go and start setting. The places were chosen, and the trap setting is done by squatting or kneeling on the carpet, just on the carpet when you are. All the material, when the hole is dug, has to be on the carpet, and different types of the material from the hole going into the different piles. The trap is put in this direction, springs towards you, and the bait will be. The place is chosen ideally if you can find some place which is naturally closed from three sides, and the only access to the bait, the place where the bait will be, is over the trap. So, as I said, these details I cannot really go into details how to set the trap. At the end, the place will look almost like there is nothing. But you see there are three guiding elements, three stones sticking out. They should be sharp and clearly visible, so that the animal which wants to sniff the bait, which will be somewhere here, doesn't have any doubts where to step. And then, after the trap is set, I cover it with a stone and leave it like that for at least a week, so that the smell of digging and my own smell, if any left in the area, dissipates. And then after 1 week minimum, maybe 5 days if it was rainy, then it's possible to activate the trap. Activation means, okay, that's it. Yeah, this is how the trapper should dress when setting a trap. Yeah. The most important thing is to put a mask. Now after COVID we are all used to masks, so it's not a problem. You can also use the scarf or whatever, cap to prevent the hairs to fall around, and the whole setting should be done in 10-15 minutes, no longer. And you should not be sweating. If you are sweating while digging and the sweat is dripping all around, then that's not good. Yeah. Use your alarm. Alarms are good. They should be used whenever possible. Depends on the availability, or you have the GSM alarms or satellite radium alarms, but they will shorten the response time and speed up the whole procedure. But they can also bring some negative elements to your trapping effort. You cannot really boil the alarm system. So, it depends. So while the traps are aging in the hole, covered with stone, you have to do the inventory of the old equipment and make sure that everything is there and that you know where is what, and that you get familiar with the usage of the equipment. Remind yourself, even after several years of work, every year before the activation of traps, it's good to check again everything and make sure that nothing is missing and that all the pieces are in place. So you come after 1 week, and then here is the trap, you see, and here is, I usually, when I apply these commercial lures as a bait, I put them high on the ground, like some 30 centimeters away and a little bit high. Here there is a pine cone, and I will apply a few drops of this gland lure, and when the animal is passing, if it gets the smell, it will eventually go and check it, and to smell it here, it will have to step here, and then the trigger the trap. So that's how it works. So remember that traps are not fixed. They are set on the side of the road, and when the animal is captured, it will jump away with the trap on the foot, and usually it will maybe struggle a little bit on the road, looking what it is. There will be this plastic bag which might be chewed on the road, and you can find it there, but then eventually it will run away from the road, and then the anchor will leave the drag mark. So whenever we have a traps active, there is a database for daily checking of the traps, and then you see set and disabled and waiting, and then enabled, gland lure, and then there was wolf visit, and what was there? Cover touch. Okay, it was too fresh, the trap. It means wolf just visited and nothing. Yeah. Oh, here we had a JACKAL. That's just coincidence. So what happens when something is captured? We see the hole is empty, and somewhere in the forest there will be a drag mark of the anchor, and you have to follow it to find the animal which is captured. And you will find it when it gets tangled with this anchor and the chain somewhere, which is farther away from the forest. And usually it can be rather secretive. You see where the wolf is actually, in this broken pine. Then you have to prepare the dart and dart as soon as possible. To prepare the dart with narcotic, it's good to have a table. You need to know which animals are in the forest and which kind of narcotic are on your disposal. So it's good to make a table to calculate the dose depending on the concentration of narcotic, type of the narcotic, and type of the species. Here have ready tables for wolf, for lynx, and for bear. and there are also tables from some other animals, but they didn't fit in the screen. How do you apply the narcotic? For wolf or jackal or animals of this size, blowpipe is the tool of choice with darts. But we always keep if there are bears around, you need to be better equipped to have a dart gun so that you can shoot from the farther distance, especially because these straps are not designed to hold a bear. If the bear is captured, you never know if it will get free at the moment when you approach. So it's better to be far, ideally in the car. And familiarize yourself with the use of syringes and darts. Yeah. Make sure you have enough of those, and the preparing the dart should be like reading. You don't have to think about what should be done next, how to make the pressure, which kind of needle, which kind of sleeve, and stuff like that, silicone, yeah. Which kind of dart. For blowpipe, just these plain darts, for the dart gun with collar or hook, because you will not be able to, well, I'm not going into details about that. Also, need to have some instrument for measuring the distance, range finders. Also, if you're using the dart gun, you need to have pressure table for each type of the dart, each volume of the dart, and for each distance, there is a different pressure needed in the dart gun. So to shoot properly, not that it's not too low pressure, which will result in dart falling down in front of the animal, or the pressure should not be harder than so that it just the needle goes into the muscle. But the minimum necessary of the pressure, that's important. Well, this is from the book, Capture Rules Based on Experience, from Krieger and Remo. If you have a free darting, then okay, start early in the morning. We usually start early for checking traps. Not too early, not too late. If you don't have an alarm system, then you have to balance between not coming too late, because somebody else might be before you, or if you are too early, then you might miss the animal, might be captured after you. So, but yeah, everything has to be planned, prepared, and the records kept. Generally, when the animals are, I'm not going into details on the tranquilization and sedation, that there will be just completely another story, but all these factors should be considered when deciding about the dose and how to tranquilize the animal. Also, yeah, how to approach the animal. You don't want to stress the animal more than necessary. Just first observe from the distance, see how big it is, what's the situation, how it is captured, tangled, from where you will approach, and then prepare the dart and make the approach for darting. Do it in as short time as possible, but again, don't rush, or you will miss, and then you will have to go again. And so, but these are all things for real learning. If somebody wants to do it, so this is just to. And for those of you who are hunters, you should not shoot in the chest for darting. Darting areas are the muscle areas, either the shoulder or the hind legs, hind part of the body. But there is many hunter here, right? Or there is at least a shoot. Yeah. Yes, there's one.
There are some. The only one could be
undercover.
Okay.
Undercover.
Yeah. Bycatches. This is you have to be ready for that, and that's something what happens. It is like annoyance when tracking wolves. You will capture everything else earlier than wolves. So be ready to handle. This is the part of the job. In this case, it can be minimized to some extent, but never really entirely. In this case, it was a badger. When I have a badger or some other animal like a fox, maybe, then I usually give a chance to some of my students to try their first darting. I said the badger is in the trap and it got tangled. You see how the shock absorber works. So it's a soft pull. I'm a German student. He will use a chopstick. For a badger, it's convenient to use a chopstick because you cannot miss, and the badger is not moving much. So with that, he will apply the narcotic in the hind leg, hind part of the body. Then it's matter how to, you need to be able to open the trap when the animals in the trap.
Pull it a bit, roll it.
Okay. Yeah. When approaching the animal, badger or bull, whatever,
For the neck,
you have to check
try to lift
that
the
it's
head.
sleeping properly.
Grab it for the neck.
And first for the hind leg, and you approach from the side at which the animal cannot go.
Like this.
So it cannot go forward to that side because that chain is tight from that direction. And then
Both sides.
to be able to open the trap,
You will need one hand
For the animals.
for the foot.
the animal foot inside. Yeah.
Don't worry about the head. Pull out the foot. Press. Where is the Okay.
So badgers are relatively low condition.
All see.
Fox. Well, foxes are more jumpy and they are more tricky to use a chopstick. So I prefer to use a blowpipe for them. But the problem is they are so agile. They will turn when they are darted with the dart from the blowpipe. They will actually most likely chew the blowpipe and crack it. So one fox, one dart less.
Seeing the jackal,
Yeah, very agile. Yeah.
they bite the
Bite the dart. Yeah. Well, jackal. Most of the jackal people here. Jackal can be captured with this trap as well. I have a video which is showing some jackals in the core area of wolves, which was rather surprising to me some years ago in the P.ΠΕ.Κ.Α National Park in Croatia, if you have heard maybe. Suddenly they had camera traps for monitoring otters, but actually they filmed the jackals, a pair of jackals which was enjoying the creek. And they were also around the village where we were staying at night. Every evening with the church bell they would howl. And the same guy who was jabbing the badger, he asked me, how about, could I maybe put one trap for a jackal somewhere around the village for fun? And I told him, yeah, okay, you can, and he did, but he had to cover it every morning so that no village dog is captured, and the jackal is coming. You see how careful it is. It smells human, and it was never captured there. But it was captured in one of the wolf traps, which was set deeper in the forest. So at that time we didn't have any collar suitable for it. We just tranquilized it and let it go. And this other one in the same area, deep in the forest, far from the village, I used the chopstick for it. And later we put the collar on it. That's the only jackal which was collared in Croatia so far, but by accident. So these traps can capture a jackal and nothing happens to the foot. Although it would be better to have a little bit smaller traps. Like this is number 7. That's how they go, like shoes. Yeah, number 7 is for wolf, and 8 for bigger wolf, Canadian Arctic wolves, and maybe for a jackal I think. Which number? You 5? Yeah,
4.
I was 4.
4.
Ah, okay, good.
Even
Yeah, okay.
smaller.
4. links, well, depends on the type of the bait. Even the links can be trapped in a captured in the leg hole. This was a case with my students, the same German and one Portuguese. We were on different sides of the trap line, and he was not so experienced. He could easily start it already now when the link was still. No, he did it next time when the links was in the, not visible behind the hill. So it all went okay. Or another case, this gland lure actually works well also for links. It attracts them, and they get trapped. So this is okay if you have the collar ready, so you can put it on links. And this is from Turkey, and we do all 3 species at once. So of course the fingers are a little bit pressed. Yeah, there is some contusion from the trap. It's always like that. But it has to hold the animal, which is rather strong. Even dogs can be captured, and that could be really unpleasant situation if the owner is by and they're really not happy when it happens. But if the dogs roam to the forest and they are lonely, well, you have to estimate yourself if you need to tranquilize it or not. I usually try not to waste the narcotic on them, and depending on how dog behaves, I usually manage to free them without any tranquilization. Yeah, some projects are done in a very sensitive area, like this year I participated in one where they said no dog should be captured at all. I just have to estimate how the dog behaves and do it calmly.
Not your dog.
It's not?
It's not your dog.
No, it's not my dog. I don't know whose dog, but it was deep in the forest. Nothing happened to it. Yeah. Well, I think that's a little They are very small, and they will kick and do whatever. Yeah. Well, all this is like more fun than trouble. But the real troublemaker I left for the end. You can imagine which one. Yeah. The main troublemaker in the forest. Yeah. So they are very numerous, more densely populated than wolves usually, and also very curious. They will explore every smell, and it's very likely that they will be the first to come to the trap. So what can happen? Various scenarios are possible. I will show you some from less to more dangerous. Okay, the bear came. This is a very good size for capture, and also rather big to be dangerous. But this one actually just rolled into the sand and didn't even trigger. So it was good. Just a little damage to the trap. Or next thing, we saw the trap was triggered in the hole. When the bear steps with the big paw, it just triggers in the hole, it doesn't go anywhere. And this is the case where the bear went away with the trap, and when it got stuck somewhere, it would pull out the foot. So this was a very big bear. So also okay, no trouble. Just I have to reset the trap. Yeah. I actually recognized it was a bear by the smell. Yeah. Okay, smaller bear, this is the problem. About 30 kilograms up to 70, 75. Well, this time I didn't have a blowpipe. Japstick is not really a proper tool for that, but I didn't have it. The other team took it. We had only one japstick and one blowpipe. That was tricky. So I had to go with the japstick, and I did it. all okay. Well, that's a bear on a tree. And they are good climbers. So it climbed as far as it could, and then the anchor got stuck or the branches. And it was actually in the level with the road on the tree. So we could dart it from the road. It slept on the tree. So we had to take it down. It was tangled so it couldn't fall. We had to climb with it. That was a long time ago, anyway. Yeah, there could be various scenarios with those bears. Just a few more minutes.
Save the bear.
Okay. I wanted to speed up and they told me. Okay, I will just skip the rest. And then finally, when the wolf is captured, what you do? Yeah, you do what you were waiting and what you were trained for. Wolf is super rheumatic for darting. They would sometimes attack. If they are adults, they will try to defend itself, and younger animals will usually try to escape. They will growl, bark, or whatever, wave the tail. I don't know, on the left or right side, probably left. Okay, you just shoot the dart and move away, wait for the animal to sleep, and then do the processing. Okay, I will skip over that. So how the animals are processed, you probably know. There is one detail when it's about trapping wolves. This is this little part of the capture form which says stick in the mouth. Very important. It happens only in wolves. And jackals? Well,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, good. Then I didn't have any jackals before. When they are trapped, they will bite the vegetation, and eventually they will chew the twig, and the twig gets stuck in the upper mole, between the teeth. And if you don't check it and you don't take it out and let the animal go with it, it will cause necrosis and eventually the animal will die. So always check them out. Well, you will check for teeth and picturing everything, so it's not very likely to, but it's good to have it in the form. Well, yeah, old animals, okay, if the animal is old, it will take longer to wake up in the necrosis and it takes less. But you can hardly know that the animal is old when you have it in the trap. So, but it will take longer if there is no antidote, even if there is antidote. That's another story, but I will skip over that. Well, I was pouring the water on this one because it was overheating. It took too long to wake up. And in the meantime, the shade moved. It was in the shade, of course, but it didn't wake up for 1 hour or longer. The shade moved. And he actually realized that the water is coming. So he started drinking. This is not standard procedure. Usually, if the animal is dehydrated, you could give it some physiological solution under the skin, some half liter, or depends on the size of the animal. And at the end, what you all will be asking, those who don't have experience, is yes, what happens to the foot? There is always some contusion, more or less, yeah, and sometimes the foot is swollen, but it will recover after 1 week. Yeah. So that's what I had to show. If there's time for question, I can ask you some. If not, we can continue.